I used to not want to see the way things are. It's not that I couldn't. It's that I didn't want to. This is what life looks like now. We have to see it. We have to fight it. If we don't fight, we die.
Hey everybody, man, we're back again. Another edition. This time it seems to be The Loving Dead this week we're watching.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little bit of everybody getting some action. Howdy.
Yes, that's true.
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. But before we get into it.
Oh, yeah, we should talk about who we are. I'm Mother Ross. This is the Bring Out the Dead show, and my guests today.
I got Tony LaMarr.
Is the legendary Mr. J.
Legendary. I'm the erroneous Tony LaMarr. That's what I am.
The erroneous. Are you sure it's not the androgynous Tony LaMarr?
All of it. I just don't want to spell it.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, I've seen Tony on Facebook, and I gotta say, whatever title he wants to give himself, just make sure you finish it with dreamy, because those eyes are dreamy.
Baby, I hear all the time. Ladies just love it.
See, it's not just the Walking Dead that is involved in the love romance kind of thing. We got it going on right here on the show.
Yes.
God, I gotta say that they couldn't play the piano soundtrack throughout the whole show enough. It's like every 5 seconds that they would pause it, the background music would come right back.
I'm telling you, man, the show be called The Milking Dead. I'm telling you, man, again, they're stretching it out. They really are stretching it out, man.
They really are. But let's start at the very beginning. What do you think about, really starting straight out with Rick running back from that impossible situation.
How the hell did he get out of the camper?
Isn't that funny how they you know what, fuck it. He just jumped out and started running, obviously. I mean, I guess they want us to fill in their own adventure.
So his name's not Rick, it's Carl, I was going to say Carl Weathers, and that's the wrong one. I was going for the runner. Oh my god, I can't remember his name.
Oh, dude. Carl Lewis?
Carl Lewis.
Wow.
See, he has two first names. I always get screwed up when people have two first names.
It's just, you would think they were going to at least show how he got out. I mean, maybe he just jumped out the car and ran, or the RV. Do we really need to see it? I mean,
well, that's what I was wondering. How did he escape? And does it really matter? Is it?
It kind of matters to me for somebody who gets obsessive over things like that.
Little details.
The side that the zombies were coming in on that episode were coming from the door side, because on the other side were the three dead people that were trying to surround them in the camper, who got shot by the AK. Yeah. So it's like I don't see any other way that he could have gotten out except for the emergency hatch on the roof.
Possibly.
Yeah, and just climbing on a ladder. Plus, you got to keep in mind they're eating the dead. They may show what happened. No, I don't think. No, I think they're at a point
they
now.
Absolutely, like you said, they're milking it. They can come back next week and start it from when he's in the camper.
Now, let's just say now, like 10 minutes ago.
Right. This episode was called Now, so it would be funny. 10 minutes before now.
Oh, and how long do we have to wait? How many episodes? 3 more episodes left in this year. Is number 3 going to be the one where we finally find out if Glenn truly died?
Well, it seems to be. And the longer that they leave it out there, the less that I think that he's dead. You know what I mean? The whole thing is...
Or the more impactful it is if he comes back as a zombie.
Well, yeah, but...
like we talked last week, I really hope that they don't bring him back, but there's no way they're going to bring him back.
They're bringing him back. I have no faith in the show to have that kind of guts, but I do admire their guts for not touching on him for 2 weeks. There are hardcore fans that are literally eating their couch cushions. So, what's happening with Glenn?
No, tell you the truth, man. I really thought this episode was going to be about the wolves. I mean, I was expecting,
well, it was about one of them anyway.
One, but you were thinking that they're going to milk it again, and we're going to learn about the wolves. I don't
know. I think they might be actually done with the wolves.
Well, they should.
They kind of should be, but at the same time, I liked how they used that one last one for Deanna's kind of, coming out moment, so to speak, where she really...
Well, they still got one more. They still got one more wolf alive.
No. But they had the zombie from the Carol shot. That's who.
Yeah. Oh, I know. But I'm saying it's
that
like a
big
woman wolf.
giant zombie. Have you ever seen a taller zombie in the show? That
Man,
was like,
she was ripping that chest up with that bottle.
Yeah, I'm telling you what. I mean, I guess Mao. What's his name? Mao Ying or whatever the guy's name is, the basketball player. Man, I don't know anybody's name.
Brought to you by marijuana. California.
Yeah, that zombie is probably pretty tall. You imagine.
All right, so are we going to talk about the big reveal in this episode that no one?
The lesbian kiss?
No. Are you kidding me? Did no one catch what Maggie announced in this episode?
I did, but they already announced that. When
did?
Glenn was leaving the town, he's like, "No, you can't go because you can't go," and it's like, "Oh, she's pregnant." It's like, who didn't know she was pregnant right when Glenn said that stuff to her?
I missed that.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of fans who may have missed it.
Oh yeah, no,
like Tony did. Big reveal. She is pregnant. I don't know why she wanted to put herself in danger by going after Glenn.
She went after her
and,
dick.
and changing her mind at the last minute.
Well, I kind of understand why she started to go after him, but I love that she came around to the decision that it's not worth it. I can't risk more lives to go and try to save him, because if he is alive, then he knows what to do. Yes, he needs her help, but he also knows what to do. So if he's alive, he's going to come back. And if he's not, then there's nothing she can do anyway. And I understand her point that she wants to see him because she doesn't want to, as she said, I don't want to wait for him,
Yeah,
but
who does? I mean, that's a lot of, that messes with your head for a little bit.
Oh, totally. And if she bails out never knowing, there's a chance he could end up coming back and coming to the town, like if he did survive. And he's like, oh my God, now she's gone. You know what I mean? And it just perpetuates both of their hell. But, how long do you go before you give up hope?
Yeah, no, I need closure. That's probably what she wants. She wants to either he's dead or he's alive. But, like Rick said, I mean, he was sending a signal out if everything was cool. But
yep. No, and he's got the skills to where he would be back in a reasonable amount of time, too.
Yeah.
Probably before Rick got back.
Yeah, definitely.
It's weird, though, how she's so worried about Glenn. Maybe she should assume that Glenn is still with Abraham and with Sasha and the other group of people who haven't returned. And quite frankly, as a group, they're pretty good at surviving. So it surprises me that she's assuming that he got killed, even though at the end she changed her mind and erased the name off the wall.
And they erased Nicholas's name. They're just gonna have to rewrite that one.
Yeah. But the whole thing is this: the show is they're milking it. For those who know what's supposed to happen, the fans, me, read the comic book. It's a little irritating because I'm waiting, but we got a hint, we got a clue who's coming up, and I love how they teased, or not really teased, but they let you know what things are coming.
Wait! What clue are you talking about?
Oh,
I mean, I know where you're going with this, but what clue are you talking
when
about?
she was on the overhand and she was touching the person's sign of death. That what's her name? Or it said Jay and Monroe. You didn't see that?
No, it said R. Monroe. That was
R.
Reg.
No,
that was her husband. That was Reg Monroe. Is who that was.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was her husband.
I was thinking something totally.
At least that's the way I took it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought for sure it was definitely an R before the name.
I gotta look back. I gotta look at that again because I was sworn.
I'm pretty confident that was her husband that she was acknowledging. Because why else would she go there? Why else would she be drawn to that name unless she knew who it was in advance?
I want to go back to the lesbian kiss because I'm a pervert. Was anybody surprised that those two girls were going to hook up?
No, I figured that Tara had more of a chance than Eugene did with her. That's for sure.
Eugene's not getting no luck whatsoever.
Yeah,
no
and I think Eugene's going to be happier now. I don't think Eugene needed the stress of a relationship. Whereas Tara really wants it. So I think that's good.
Yeah, but Eugene's affections are still held somewhere else.
That's true. Yeah.
With Rosita.
Right, well, he only likes Rosita when she's being fucked by Abraham.
No. He has a thing for Rosita.
No, well, he gets to watch when they're doing it together. So.
Oh, yeah, he has watched them.
He likes that. But what do you think about Rick rallying the town, trying to give them that pep talk about dealing with walkers?
I think it's a little too late.
I think it's not only too late, he's the wrong guy. Because look how the different response they got from what's her name? Alex, the wife,
Mm.
the wife of the douchebag husband that got killed.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she gives a pep talk, and boy, did they respond very differently. And this is when Deanna was saying to Rick, look, they need you. What Rick, I think, needs to acknowledge is they're never going to accept me. No matter how long he's there, he's always going to be this outsider. He's always going to be this...
He is the outsider.
Exactly. And people, like, some people are understanding him, like Alex and other people that are understanding the call to arms. But everybody else is freaking out. And so if they have somebody like a leader like Deanna, if she's saying what, if Rick gives her the lines to say or kind of instructs her on how to lead these people, I think they're more prone to follow her.
But I do believe that Deanna is trying to pass the torch. I don't think that she is capable of handling this type of situation. She already looks like she's breaking down.
Well, she looks like she's where Rick was at the prison.
Yeah, I think
which makes perfect sense.
Because you got to keep in mind, she's been in this little bubble for a long time, and then look what's outside your freaking gate. That's reality.
And this is all within a very short time from when her husband's died. Yeah, when her husband's died to where the zombie thing, like reality smacked her in the face.
They fucked her in the face.
So it's got to be interesting to see as this season continues. Will she pull out of it or will she succumb? Because if she doesn't come out as any kind of a leader, she's not going to survive this first half of the season.
Oh, no,
well, she was already looking to pass leadership to her son until she saw her son get drunk and blame her for what has happened in the town, and then that's when she realized that her son may not be the next leader of the town, and then she approached Rick about becoming the new leader.
Well, I think that she came to a conclusion, or else she would have just let that zombie kill her. She wants to fight. She says she wants to live.
Yep.
She made it very clear. I mean, she could have just jumped over the fence into the zombies and said, screw all this shit. She had plenty of chances to end herself. So I really feel that she came to that conclusion. This episode, she walked around doing the whole, walking the earth kind of shit, coming to realization that she needs to do something, right?
Yeah,
so,
she shit or get off the pot kind of thing.
Pretty much. And that's what I got from this episode, that we're going to see her, she's going to come out of the clouds next episode.
Yep, and you got the same reaction from the not a doctor lady. You know what I mean? She heard that speech that Alex gave, and she's like, oh my God, I got to do something. And it snapped her into gear, and she goes back and saves the pus leg guy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly.
It's just having the right voice at the right time, And Wifey stepping up. I mean, talk about adapting well. She goes over and kills Betsy. She's like, no, you need to go. Now, Betsy's the wife of the guy who wrote the note two episodes ago, the one that got bit. Yeah. And wrote the note to her. That note never got back, and she couldn't handle it. She freaked out.
And she killed herself.
Exactly. And Alex is just like, no, man, we need to handle this stuff. We can't let this go on. If we see it, we have to fight it. Do
you try? I mean, like, at this point, do you try to get him out of there? I mean, what do you do? I mean, throw out of the town wall. The zombies. I mean, what do you do?
Well, what I'm thinking they're going to do is they're going to wait for the. Hopefully, I think Rick's ultimate plan is to get Daryl and Abraham to come back after leading the first pack of the horde and doing something to draw the next horde away from the town. Like he was saying.
Oh, that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, he was saying, let's make this thing as quiet as a graveyard.
I'm assuming that they're probably going to arrive by the end of next week's episode, and then they're going to pull the zombies away by the episode after next week.
Yeah, it makes sense that it would start next week and finish the week after, and then leave the last episode for the big finale.
Yeah, definitely. But I'll get into that later.
No. Well, what else in this episode that really stuck out? Nothing much.
Well, what about Carl and Ron's slap fight?
Oh, you know what? I got something. I'm thinking that this may lead to something happening in the comic book. They may go use this as a route to.
You think they're going to take that path?
I think so with this kid. What I'm thinking.
Yeah. Without spoiling the comic book or the TV show, we're talking about the kid taking the actions of a different character in the comic book.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
But I will say. And this doesn't ruin anything. I think it's kind of weird and messed up, and at the same time appropriate for the feeling of the show. That child is asking Rick Grimes to teach him how to shoot, so that he would eventually either shoot Rick Grimes or his son.
Okay. Well, it sounds like
he has enough reason to do it.
Right, he has kind of a screwy motivation.
He has a great motivation.
Well, that's not a screwy motivation. His dad was killed by Rick, so there's either revenge towards Rick, or by attacking Rick directly, or revenge to Rick by killing his son.
The kid seems to be more upset over Carl taking his lady than his dad dying.
You know what? That would push me over. Okay, you killed my dad, and your son's going to try to fuck my girlfriend? Yeah, it's going to piss some people off.
But
I'm not a violent person, but I would kill somebody.
I would be pissed off, man. There's not many teenage girls for me to take my chances with, bitch.
Anybody that thinks that they're going to have a relationship in the afterlife is fooling themselves. Just look at what's going on with Maggie.
I disagree, because Rick had the right idea. Because when he came to the house, it was all about sex. Because, we may not make it tomorrow, and I'm going to get into some panties.
Right, but he's not you just said it exactly right. It's about sex, not a relationship. I didn't say sex. I said relationship.
Well, no.
Anybody that thinks that it's going to be anything more than just being able to fuck somebody here and there when you have an opportunity and have no strings attached, because strings are done. Strings are over in this world.
Well, maybe, I disagree. I think for a young boy, he thinks that's what's supposed to be done.
He thinks that, but he needs to fucking learn it. And Carl better learn it too, and Carl seems to have learned it. Like, Carl's not all possessive about her. It's like, yeah, whatever happens, happens. He seems to be very, very loose with it. But what I really wanted to talk about with Carl's and Ron's fight, like, think about Carl, man. He knows how to handle walkers, right? Mm-hmm. He's never yet really had to fight a human being. And that's
he was thrown a little bit off, because the walkers are slow and stumbling and they don't think, and he's fighting somebody with some real emotions
that can actually fight back as opposed to just react.
Yes, but he doesn't have the skills that Carl has.
Well, he doesn't have the skills, but just the same, neither one of them have skills for fighting humans.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That to me is as vitally important a skill in this world. Look at what Rick's had to do over the last few seasons. You need to know how to fight people, because people are going to mess. You can fight all the walkers you want, but people are going to mess you up.
True. But the psychology behind it is that Carl has been in danger more times than this other child.
I understand.
And when you're in a fight, there is fear that takes over, mm-hmm. and a calm person can always win any fight, no matter how disadvantaged they are.
Absolutely, yep. But again, I just think that it would be a good idea to train these kids in some hand-to-hand combat kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, I think they had plenty of time. I don't know. I think they got kind of comfortable in that environment.
Mm-hmm.
And they all want peace. Come on, they've been on the road, but out in the wilderness for at least a season.
Well, that's what I mean. Now they've finally got a place that has some level of security. I would take every chance I have to be training, like how Morgan learned with the staff. He took all that time when he was isolated with that dude to learn his technique, and now he's pretty badass. Man, get those kids on a regiment of learning how to deal with stuff. You've got enough adults that could teach them. There isn't a kid in that town that wouldn't benefit from learning self-defense.
Yeah.
And of all the people to train these children, really Morgan is the best
Morgan
one. Morgan
and Carol, a little bit of each.
If you can take care of the zombies without making loud noises,
oh no, man, Carol,
then it won't attract any more zombies towards where you are,
and it might not attract.
You have a better chance of surviving.
It might not attract other people to where you are either, which is a good.
That
thing.
is also true. That is also
Carol,
but you want Carol's techniques, because whereas Morgan will talk you to death, Carol will stab you in the back of the head. So you want a little bit of that too.
She was doing library studies with knifing 101.
Exactly. She is not fooling around when it comes to kids protecting themselves.
Oh, you can combine the knife with the staff and create a spear.
Completely. You know what I mean? Give kids options. That's what I'm saying. And that's another thing, is teach them crafting, because they are going to need weapon crafting in the future as well. So I would teach them all that kind of stuff. Now let's move into the sewers with Maggie and Aaron walking down into. First of all, what are the odds that the sewers smell a hell of a lot better than that town does right now, huh?
No, dude, that was. I had a feeling like I don't want to go on a journey looking for Glenn. I'm so glad they got stopped there, because I was like, I don't want that shit.
Well, but forget about even getting stopped. I love the whole scene in the sewers. I love them going down in there. I love the having to remove debris that actually had 2 dead dudes under it, possibly homeless guys that might have been there from who knows how long.
Which, by the way, how come these undead creatures get so deteriorated, but they manage to keep their eyeballs
and their brainstem
and their brain? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing on these two. I mean, they're pretty much just should have been disintegrated. I mean, they could have just squeezed their head and could have just took them out. I mean, it had to be. Right?
But they always have eyeballs. Yeah. An eyeball is a liquid inside a sack.
Yep, it's the first thing to go.
It's supposed to be the first thing to go. It reminded me so much of that scene from Return of the Living Dead where a full skeleton pops out of the graveyard with 2 eyeballs.
2 perfect eyeballs.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up, because the filmmaker of that was Dan O'Bannon, who wrote Alien.
Dan O'Bannon. I made a film explaining the zombies of Return of the Living.
Yeah, and he said that he didn't like that. The guy who made it.
Oh, that guy got fired.
Yeah, he got fired for that particular skeleton.
Yeah.
But yet he did make a Tarman, who is the zombie that was in the
canister, which very much
one of the most famous zombies.
Which very much mirrored the zombies that were down in the sewer.
Very much, very, very.
And I really love how she was literally putting her hand straight through the guy. It's like,
that was cool.
They were squishy.
Yeah,
that was cool.
And the skin was stretchy and all that stuff. I mean, again, it goes to they're very good about saying how the body would break down, but they're missing that one aspect because the brain is not this incredibly resourceful muscle. Mm-hmm. It's very fragile. And I really believe that these 2 zombies would have rotted themselves to permanent death down there.
They have explained, though, that the virus that takes over the stem slows down the deterioration of the body and of the brain. They still deteriorate, just not at a normal pace like most humans would.
That's true. They did cover that in season 1.
Yeah, and if you notice, most of the zombies that are walking around, they're not bloated with gases from necrosis.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. And there was a lot of fresh ones at the gate.
A lot of fresh ones, and I think it's because, actually, I have no explanation.
Well, people are dying every day, Even though
you would think that such a close shot of their faces that they would be more deteriorated, more skeletal,
or
more skeletal,
maybe more bites on them, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm just done with them. I just want to get a hotel and just stay there. Just
pretty much, but just find yourself a good place.
Just a couple of cans of beer.
I like to bring this up from the last time I was on your show, is that how come nobody's getting any infections from
the
running around in the muck, and now they're in the sewers
with a head wound, right? An open head
that's going to
wound.
need stitches in the sewers. It's going to need
stitches that he then uses his hand to push up. All of a sudden, he had one little clean hand. I don't know where he found a towel to wipe it off with.
Hey! This is The Walking Dead, all right?
Oh, I know it's Hollywood. Okay. Suspend all that shit, but
all right. But they dealt with a plague. Remember the prison? That was
they dealt with the kid that got sick, but still, this would be their number one killer would be diarrhea. The zombies would not be nearly as big of an issue as dysentery and diarrhea. That would be the number one hit parade right there.
Yeah, well, maybe.
I find it amazing that in all their trips to these small towns and large towns, that they haven't had a chance to hit like a McDonald's in the shot or a Taco Bell in the shot. Mm-hmm. You can't go outside your house without going into a fast food restaurant in every corner, and in this world, there's no fast food restaurant.
Then again, they're in the southeast there. Maybe it hasn't gotten there yet. It's
they were in Atlanta.
They're still eating at the Piggly Wiggly.
They had some chicken shacks in Atlanta, but they didn't do that. That's for sure.
There was a rumor, and now it is no longer a rumor, and there is an actor by the name of Wesley Snipes.
Yep.
Who will be playing a very, very important role in future episodes of The Walking Dead.
I have to say, I'm defuncting that right now. That's a rumor. I don't think that's accurate at all. I don't think.
You don't think?
All I know is I saw the headline and I'm like, spoiler! And I cut it off. I didn't look at it. I don't know anything
I
about
know
it.
that me and J-Man will talk all episode if this was true. I would love to talk about what he may be up for. But I'm debunking it right now. I'm just saying it's not. I don't think it's true.
Well, if he was,
I think he would have been perfect for it, though.
if he was going to be in this character, in this role, do you think that he would be in the first half of this season, or do you think he would be introduced in the second half?
I think he would be introduced towards the end of the second half, and then the next season would be all about this character.
He'll be, if it's true, if the character I'm thinking you and I are talking about, it's going down that path. He will be in the very last episode of next season. I'm just telling you that right now. It's going. It has to, because they still have to deal with another. Yeah. Jeez. They still.
That is true, because the Milking Dead is going to be milking the zombie attack of the town.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, one thing
I don't know about that, but they still have another town to deal with. You know, they still have another place to deal with that character. So, I'm really trying not to do any kind of spoilers.
No, but you're saying that they have this other town to deal with. But what if they just cut that other town out? What if you know what I mean? What if they
that
won't happen because it helps introduce. No, they need it.
No. Well, they could change the way they introduce the character. A couple of things I wanted to close out with. One was Spencer, that's Deanna's son, the one that got drunk. Mm-hmm. Towards the end of it, because you saw like he'd stolen stuff and he was justifying what he was doing, taking from the people, right? Mm-hmm. So do you think he's kind of on the path to where he, like in his brain, that he could become a governor type, where he could run this place? And
no.
His mother was looking at him for leadership after the little speech he had in the pantries. Mm-hmm. But when he came in and stole all the extra stuff and the alcohol, she realized with his tantrum that he was not the right one.
Right, but that's saying, do you think he's setting himself up to be in a position of power? Is he trying to?
I don't think so.
Is that his goal?
I don't think so.
I think it is. I think he would like to be able to take over a little bit.
I think he legitimately felt that if everybody started stealing food from the reserves, then the town would be doomed. And he's giving the town a fighting chance, but he doesn't believe that the town has a fighting chance.
I see.
You know, yeah, exactly. Because just think about it. Let's say he does let everybody raid that pantry, and they somehow make it through this issue they're going through. They're screwed.
Yep, they are.
You know, so.
But at the same time, you know, he's also in a way saying, "No, leave it, so I have more for me," kind of thing. You know, because he has no problem taking it for himself.
I think it was an afterthought. I think he really legitimate.
Like everybody left, and he's like, "Hey, nobody's around."
Well, now that nobody's here. Get those can of pears, yeah.
and
canned peaches.
To close out here, you know, a couple weeks ago on the episode where Glenn had his run-in with the Horde, mm-hmm. Scott Gimple had sent out a message saying that we will see Glenn in some form. Was what were his words? He said we'll either see a part of him, or him in some form in the future. What are the odds?
He's coming back as a zombie.
No. But what are the odds that his form will be the baby?
No. He's coming back, and because the reason being, the history of the show is if one of the main characters dies, we know he dies.
Well, okay? But again, wouldn't it be better if they broke that mold? That's again, I understand what the history has been, but they could always change it, right?
I would like it if they. I told you last week. I mean, I prefer they just leave it alone.
Absolutely. Well, that's what I'm saying is, what if Scott Gimple's clue, because the way he said it, he was so careful in covering all the bases, but the one that he added that really didn't need to be in there was we'll see some form of Glenn. And man, wouldn't that be perfect for what you see is the baby in another couple seasons or next, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's the next thing we see. Because I would love that. Because that's the way the real world works. People disappear all the time. We don't even need the apocalypse. You know what I mean?
Well, Glenn has to die, and one of the major reasons is that this show suffers from the Friday the 13th syndrome, and that is anybody who's hooking up and doing some hanky panky has to die.
Yep. Any happiness.
Every person that has had a partner in that show has been killed.
Any happiness at all. You gotta snuff it out.
Yeah. Well, let's see if Carl gets lucky and
and then it'll be the Rick Grimes show. Now that's interesting. What do you think would happen to Rick Grimes if Carl died? Coral.
You won't be able to
I
say
think
that
that
anymore.
would be the end of the show, to be honest.
But,
I think
yeah.
Rick would just.
No. In the comic books, that would be the end of the show. But in this one, if Carl was to die, he still has his daughter to keep him going.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He can't just give up anymore.
So
He can't give up on his daughter. Which, by the way, where has the baby been this whole time?
She was at the house. They mentioned it last night that she was.
Yeah, they mentioned it.
Carl was watching her at the house after he was saying he was going to leave to go look for. What was her name? Euphoria, whatever her name is.
Yep. Let it go.
Well, can they please give people some more normal names? What the hell is that chick's name? It's some messed up.
I find you racist. If it's like Sally or some white bread name, you'd be fine with it. But now,
No, man, she's like euthanasia or whatever her name is. Come on.
I
dude.
think that's a beautiful name. I think you're just racist.
Lovely.
It's a beautiful name.
Whenever I can't remember a minor character in a movie or TV show, I just call him Russian Dancer number 3.
There you go. So we'll see if Russian Dancer number 3 makes it back to the town.
Yeah, to make out with Carl.
To make out with Carl and to piss off Ron. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and by the way, Rick is picking up himself a new squeeze.
Oh man, that was inevitable, as we always say. That was
Oh, we saw it coming, but I mean, that's kind of fucked up for the children. I'm hooking up with this guy. Oh, the guy who killed my father? Yeah, the guy who killed my father and his son who's stealing your other brother's girlfriend.
Well, you know what really scary is this is almost the exact storyline out of season 1 from the TV series Soap from the 70s.
wow.
How old are you?
I'm pretty fucking old.
What's Soap, Mom? It's a TV show from the 70s.
If you don't know what Soap is out there and you're listening to this, go find out. Oh my God, you will thank me.
I don't think it holds up.
I think it holds up perfectly.
I don't think so.
Because they don't. As a matter of fact, I think it holds up more now because of the fact that when Soap came out, it was copying soap operas, which was a very limited genre, and they were only daytime. They really didn't have nighttime soap operas like Dallas or any of that stuff that came after Soap. And in fact, Soap kind of led the way for them. It cleared the path for them. But now everything's a serial, from Lost to to The Wire to Sons of Anarchy to Walking Dead. Everything's a serial nowadays. So,
well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're barely tuning in, welcome to the Soaping Dead.
hey, yes, we're going to be talking about
soap and milk and cheese. Is everything but zombies and answers what happened to Glenn's show.
You should not put soap in your milk. That does not work. The bubbles are cool, but they don't taste right.
Actually, you could eat authentic handmade soap.
It's just
that?
just human fat mostly. Any good soap.
It's that's if you watch the what's it?
Fight Club.
What's Fight Club?
Hey, you're not supposed to
No,
talk
but it is
about
made
Fight
from
Club.
animal
Don't you know the rules?
We don't talk about.
Don't talk about the rules.
Don't talk about it. On that note,
I think, this is a great place to cut it off, but we appreciate you guys tuning in. The show's been going down an interesting path, and I understand, I agree with Tony 100%. They're milking the hell out of it, but at the same time, I'm loving every pull of the udder, so just keep them going.
They do have to milk it a little bit, because otherwise they'll catch up to the comic book, and then they have to write original stories, and when that happens, we're going to end up with the Fear the Walking Dead Part 2.
Exactly. Hey, really quick, here's something for you. What do you think if Ash from the Ash versus the Evil Dead came and made a crossover to Fear of the Walking Dead? Come on, he could save that story right there.
Oh, that's going to happen in the comic books, because he's already faced Marvel Zombies. He's already faced Reanimator.
Mm-hmm. So,
yeah,
yes.
I'm down with Ash, and we may start doing a show on that, aren't we? Supposed to do a podcast on that?
Yeah, we can. Let me know when you want to start.
I just made a deal right here. We're going to do a show on Walking.
Well, they're already up to the second episode, so we're missing it. We do need to catch up. I'm going to cut this out, but yeah, we definitely could look into that. So
I don't mind. I don't mind doing another one. I mean,
yeah, if you want, I'm down for it. I like the show. I really enjoy the Ash versus the Walking Dead.
How was the second episode? Pretty good.
That was a cool trick. Showing up like 15 minutes before the bar closes and just finding the most desperate woman who hasn't been picked up yet.
Is this part 1 or part 2 you're talking about?
Episode 1.
Oh.
Yeah, when he's in the bar.
It's the opening 5 minutes. Yeah. I haven't ruined it.
He's over there with his hand. He's trying to show her some wood, and she's like,
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, and I think you're all right, because the best pickup line I ever had is at 5 minutes to 2, you find somebody that doesn't look like they're doing so well, and you tap them on the shoulder and say, come on, we're going, and they just follow you right out of the bar. It's beautiful.
Hey, I used to call it street sweeping.
Absolutely,
It's true, guys. If hey, yeah, we want to get the top breed at the beginning of the night, but it starts going downhill a little bit, and around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you're slim pickings.
And your standards will fall, because think of it, if it gets too late, you're going to end up with you in your hands. So,
well, I don't agree in abusing women, but at the same time, there's something to be said. I remember this one time I went to a party and I was hitting on this woman, and this woman, she originally went there to be picked up by another guy, and the other guy was not catching. And she was really mad that after she turned me down, I was hitting on other women.
Oh. The nerve of
you
I told her,
asshole.
Don't be mad because I'm the best thing you can do today. You might be able to do better tomorrow, but not today.
You ever try picking up women with the movie Titanic?
That's another story for another show. But I am Mother Ross. This is Bring Out the Dead. Yeah. And my guest here, Tony, go for it.
You got yourself Tony LaMarr here in Texas. You can find me easily. Just go at Tony_LaMarr on Twitter, or just search for me, people. I'm out there.
And Mr. J?
You can look me up on YouTube under Comic Book Nerd Out.
Yep, and you can find me at Punctual Pothead on Twitter, and you can email me at Ross Adam Miller on Gmail. And again, if you have any ideas, any suggestions for the show, anything you want to hear, or anything you're tired of hearing, feel free to let me know. I'm interested in all your judgment.
Oh!